Before we get very far into our next story, we do have a warning for you tonight. What you're about to see and hear may not be suitable for children. Tonight, take a walk in their world.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Transpicuous News again, twice in 1 week. Oh my God. I was going to do this news report yesterday and, day got away from me. I just couldn't. And then a little article came out today and was like, oh, I got to talk up about this one. It is January 16th. Literally, folks, we're like halfway through the first month of 2018. And the drama. Oh, the drama. First up, two topics. We've got two topics, two main stories we're going to talk about. First one is, let's talk about Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia. Okay, this story landed yesterday, and I was just like, transparency? You want some transparency? Here, let me give you some transparency. From the Ritz-Carlton to high security prison, Saudi prince reportedly has been moved to prison after he refused to pay $6 billion for his freedom. So we're going to go into this whole thing, and there's a lot of spiel going on and a lot of stuff that comes from unreliable or unknown sources who seem to want to try and push this rhetoric of what's going on in Saudi Arabia is all the good, regime change, and it's all good, and Trump really likes this stuff. Yeah. Don't buy the bullshit. Saudi prince has a shitload of his family and business compatriots all arrested. Remember this, right? A few months ago. Mass arrests, they all get arrested. But what is it really about? Well, I can tell you what it's really about. Money. It's the only thing it's about. Money. Billionaire Saudi prince Al-Waleed was reportedly transferred to a maximum security prison after refusing to pay $6 billion as part of a government anti-corruption purge. Because you see, you can be corrupt as long as you give your money to the government. And that makes the anti-corruption purge just disappear for you. Seems like a pretty simple process to me. Hold on. Al-Waleed is the nephew of Saudi King Salman. It is worth $17 billion. He's ranked as the world's 64th richest man and was once dubbed the Arabian Warren Buffett. He owns stakes in Twitter, Lyft, and Citigroup. He was arrested in November, which has been arrested means he's been staying in a luxury hotel, right? The relocation of detainees reportedly followed a failure to negotiate their release with the government. Refusing to make large financial payments, Radaya was planning to secure a reported $100 billion settlements from the kingdom's billionaires. So they're all going to prison now. All the anti-corruption charges that were laid, they're all going to prison because basically the crown prince extorted the money from them. That's right. He arrested them and then said, okay, this can all go away. You just give me your money. Just give me the money. That's it. That's how easy it was. Listen, last year, the Saudi authorities detained dozens of royals, top government officials, and businessmen in the national anti-corruption push, offering freedom to some of the detainees in exchange for paying up to 70% of their wealth. That's right. Like I said, apparently money makes everything go away. You can do all the corruption stuff you want to do in Saudi Arabia. You just got to pay them money. Give them all your money, and they'll look the other way, and you can go off, do whatever the hell you want. Now, we're going to go just a little historical on this, because we just got to go back in history a bit and just look at some of the facts. February 1st, 2016, I reported on this. The IMF sees years of austerity for Saudi Arabia as debt defaults loom. 2015, the IMF predicts Saudi Arabia will be bankrupt by 2020 because all their money's gone. All their money is gone. And they're the third largest procurer of mass weapons, warfare mongering nation who throws money at everything in the world. They're buying exorbitant amounts of weapons. Okay, 2015, this is October 2015. What happened in March of 2015? Oh, that's when Saudi marched into Yemen and decided to throw a war against Yemen. Yemen is the poorest of the Middle Eastern countries. They don't even have oil. Well, they have that much oil. So this whole excuse of this war in Yemen is bullshit. But it's costing Saudi Arabia a fucking arm and a leg. So what are they doing now? Now they're just going to extort all the money from all their princes. They write, you're all rich and wealthy, so give us your money. And then we can make these charges go bye-bye. Okay, on a little side note, guess where some of this money for Saudi Arabia is going? Oh yeah, going to Malta, huh? Guess who's been caught buying Maltese citizenships and passports? A bunch of Saudi princes who've all recently been arrested for corruption in Saudi Arabia. Seriously, you can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. Okay? So, next time someone tries to spin you the whole, oh, Saudi Arabia, and it's a change, and oh yeah, don't fucking fall for it. And anyone who's working with Saudi Arabia, don't fall for their bullshit either. All they're doing is trying to cover their asses, get some money. Next story. Oh, sorry. On top of this one, just to show you how desperate the situation is, I've forgotten about this little proviso story. Okay? Atari Royal claims he's being held against his will in the United Arab Emirates. Okay, a member of the Atari royal family released a video on Sunday alleging that he's being held against his will in Abu Dhabi, which of course the Emirati authorities totally say, no, not happening. He says, they told me not to leave. I'm afraid that anything could happen to me and the people of Atari would be blamed. So I just want to inform you that if anything happens to me, the people of Atari are innocent. I am a guest of Sheikh Mohammed, and if anything happens to me, he is fully responsible. This isn't the first, right? If Sheikh Abdullah's detention proves to be authentic, it would follow in the trend within the recent Gulf diplomatic spat of detaining high-ranking officials to use as leverage, such as the supposed detention of Lebanese Prime Minister Hariri. Okay, do you guys remember? We talked about this by Saudi authorities in November. Hariri appeared on Saudi television, resigned as Prime Minister of Lebanon, and then as soon as he got back to Lebanon, finally was released, he immediately retracted his resignation. That's not all. Former Egyptian Prime Minister Safik also released a similar video to Sheikh Abdullah, claiming that he was being held against his will in the United Arab Emirates. This is now the way that Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi deal with their friends. A professor at Atari University told Al Jazeera, Sheikh Abdullah is of no use to these countries because their plan to orchestrate a coup in Atari failed miserably. Do you all remember that? just last year, when everyone tried to throw a shit fit and they tried to start a war with the Tatar in the Middle East. Why? Because they were trying to overthrow the royal family. Isn't this world so interesting and full of fucking bullshit that you just want to scream? I do. Anyways, that's the one story. The next story. So we all fondly remember Hawaii on Saturday. Kiss your asses goodbye. There's an inbound ballistic missile coming. You got nowhere to hide. You're fucked. That was basically the text message sent out to every Hawaiian or person in Hawaii, right? And of course, the spiel that has rolled out since then has been of such ludicrousness, so ridiculous. The pass the buck and this thing of like, oh, it was a shift change and someone hit the wrong button. I don't know. Bullshit. And this is how you know it's bullshit? Because guess what happened today in Japan? Oh, snap. Japanese broadcaster falsely reports a North Korean missile was launched and coming towards Japan. I shit you not. You cannot make this up. Did anyone wonder the Onion is going out of business? Because even they can't come up with shit. This is outrageously ridiculous is what's actually happening. Seriously. Okay, now here's the interesting piece on this, okay? Because you sit there and you go, okay, Hawaii issues ballistic missile warning to every single person in the state Saturday, that's the 12th. And then now Japan on Tuesday. Well, what happened? Is there anything that could have maybe happened to make people want to try and distract people and maybe try and build up that fear porn a little? Oh, could it be that North and South Korea have having peace talks and that the peace talks are actually going really, really well? They met on January 9th, and then again, they're meeting on the 17th, tomorrow again. This article was called it right out. South and North Korea hold talks, and the U.S. war hawks are alarmed at the prospect of peace. Underpinning such thinking is the assumption that neither Seoul, and I cannot actually say the capital of North Korea, that neither South Korea or North Korea has the right to make peace on its own terms. That's right. How dare they make peace? How dare they? Did the U.S. give them permission to make peace? I don't think so. Anyways, and now we have false reports of of missile strikes coming in. Do you think maybe someone's afraid that peace might break out in Korea? And they got to do everything they can to just get everyone to be so afraid, so afraid. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for me. This is just a short one. A little bit of news for you. Like I say, you can't make this shit up. Bye, guys.